Hallo en welkom hier so by Farmspace. Ons is hier by Horsch in Duitsland. En ja, hulle het spesiaal vir Suid-Afrika 'n planter gebou nou nog voor hy uitmekaar uitgehaal word en die kant toe gestuur word. Mintelplanter. Philip van Horsch gaan ons presies vertel hoe en wat hulle die ding gedoen het. Daar staan Shaal. Ons het self nog nie eens die ding gesien en nou nie, maar so ja, kom ons luister 'n bietjie hoe die innovasie was en wat was die behoefte geweest wat hulle aangespreek het. Philip, how are you?
Hello, Andre. I am good this morning, but you are well as well, right? You are here in shorts, and we have cold weather here in Germany. What's going on with you?
That's how you'll see me. My thermostat's broken.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's
So,
good.
Philip, you're about to explain to us quickly this unique machine that you've built specifically for South Africa.
Absolutely.
I'm not going to hold you up any longer. It looks like Charles is really intrigued. He wants to hear more about. So, explain to us a little bit what's going on here.
Well, as you know, we carry a huge variation, a huge span of variation of different planter technologies and planter bars, planter sizes, etc., in our portfolio. And what we see here is our newest up to 9 meter, up to 30 feet width system based on the smaller seed card range. We have a larger and a smaller seed card range. So far, you have only seen 9 meter bars on the larger seed card in South Africa, and this is a 9 meter bar with based on the smaller seed card range. And what additionally you see here is our new Mintel version, specifically designed for South Africa. So there's a leading disc, cutting disc, 20-inch cutting disc, followed by a tine. The tine can penetrate, can be used up to a depth of around 20 centimeters, roughly, combined with a single row cleaner, and then our standard row unit following that.
So what I want to know is, between the two of you, just go through the planter exactly. You had a need. Just explain to us quickly, what was the need in South Africa? What did you want from this planter? And how did you guys go about actually developing it?
Yeah, we had a lot of clients that asked for this configuration, especially on the tine model and even with the cutting disc in front. In Bergville, Eastern Free State area, that's a big thing. And it's one thing we could not have delivered yet, but I reckon this is our third planter. The first one was tested there on the farm Holfontein for about 4 years now, and we've made some adjustments in that time, and now we are comfortable enough to have this in the market.
Yeah. And what you have to mention, Charles, is we have actually fulfilled all the needs you have told us before. We can run the disc and the coulter exactly on the row.
Yep.
And we also can run it 50 mil off the row, 50 mil to the side. Very easily to adjust, very easily to be reset.
That matchbox rule.
Yeah, and that basically makes it very universal for all your South African needs and for all what farmers' needs are. Additionally, we have the possibility to run our row unit with our autoforce system, so a fully automated hydraulic downforce control, along with the tine system, and that is also very handy. So we run the tine on a mechanical spring, so it stays in the ground. At the same time, we run the row unit following the tine, if desired, on an hydraulic, fully automated depth control.
And this is this one?
Yes, yeah. This is this small cylinder, which is then controlled by a sensor on the gauge wheel, and the gauge wheel sensor controls the load on the gauge wheel, and likewise, it controls the pressure in the hydraulic cylinder, so we can penetrate well, we can keep perfect depths and not applying too much or too less pressure on the furrow.
So, is this what you ordered?
This is what we ordered. This is exactly what we like
and
about
I
the
have
Horsch.
To mention one more thing. It's actually a 12-row 30-inch.
30-inch, 76 as we know in South Africa. And one thing I realized about this planter, they haven't touched the quality at all to do the attachment. It's still a full house planter with the metering unit, microgranulite, and I see the fertilizer flow monitor, and everything is still the Horsch quality, so that's not been touched.
What you also, and I don't know, Andre, if you've seen that, this is actually a planter that has a central fill tank. So it's a central fill seat box in the front. So there's no boxes in the back.
Yep.
Central fill seat box and pneumatic seat delivery system to the room. You can open this up here, and you see here the small container that's being filled pneumatically from the central fill box. This is actually our airbag system, so it's a pneumatic vacuum singulator metering system.
So see, they managed to get the downforce in as well.
What we also have added here is a hose for being able to put the granular dry fertilizer or granular insecticide or whatsoever in the front inside the seat furrow. So the attachment is here.
But,
And there's a small additional third compartment on the side. So this is actually a 3-compartment bin, a 3-compartment cart. Seed, fertilizer, and the third compartment. You can use it forever you want, fertilizer or insecticides or whatsoever, being blown into the furrow.
Why did they want the smaller bin on the front?
Well, it's all about sizes of machines, cost, and what fits in what size of operation. So this addresses the medium-size farmer in South Africa, and if you go into very large operations, then of course we go to the large cart. And you can choose this as a farmer. Weight also plays a role. So there is many different aspects. You always need a variation of different sizes of machines.
Especially in Bergville, Eastern Free State area, the maneuverability about the planter is much better with the smaller frame, smaller bin.
And Andre, I want to mention, also very important, we do, like Charles also mentioned already, no compromises on quality topics. So the components we use on the smaller machines are exactly the same as the components we use on the very large planters. So it is all built for high acreage, for high hectare outputs, for long life, regardless of size of the machine. There's only one standard of quality in the components.
So just quickly, Charles, how long have you guys been now in development with this when you told them this is what we want? And what was the processes you followed to actually get to the stage where it's now finished?
Yeah, we got a planter from Brazil actually that we call a mental planter that we've tested on Holfontein. It's done 3 seasons now, and on the last adjustments, Mr. Horsch here was happy with the planter, and he said I must sell more, and I told him I need this, and he said I'll get it for me.
Awesome.
Yeah, usually we are quick. That's what we like to do. We like to meet farmers and our partners in all these different places around the world, and like to work together very closely, and then be quick in adopting to the markets, because that's what's needed.
And a lot of time you've only got a limited window in which those guys actually they've got that need, and if you don't come in, someone else will fill that need. And you've lost that segment.
Absolutely. It's not only a window in that respect, it's also a window every year. So if you miss a season, you have to wait 1 more year. So it's always about speed and doing the right thing as quick as somehow possible. And Terratil and Charles and his team, they properly tested the things we gave to them. And so we were very clear, very clear what we needed. And then we tried to perform as quick as possible and do it as quick as possible. One more thing to mention here, one more technical detail. When you look through the machine, you will see that some of these springs that put pressure on the tine are mounted in the rear on the linkage system, and other springs are mounted in the front of the frame.
Why is
and
this?
We want to test that, and we want to see what is actually better in what conditions. If you mount the spring on the frame, there's a fixed depth depending on the frame height. If you mount the spring on the linkage, it can follow along with the row unit, the tine. And that is something you want to test. And we will see what makes more sense. And it's not we didn't decide yet whether we leave this possibility in the machines in series production, or whether we find out one is better anyways, and then we can leave one bracket off again. We will see. But at the moment, you can do both. You can decide as a user, do you want to have a depth following tine, or do you want a fixed tine versus the frame?
I would love the fact that you can choose between the two, because I think depending on soil type and especially rocks,
Yeah.
that's going to make the difference in terms of which one you would
It could
want
make a
at the
difference,
end.
absolutely, and especially in terms of levelness of the fields. You know, do you need contour following? Do you have terraces? Do you have unlevel fields, or do you have very level fields? So it depends on that as well.
Awesome.
But of course, one more thing, very importantly, not only that the tine can follow, and the row unit anyways, every row unit can follow, but also the frame itself is always flexing. So first of all, it sits on wheels. In the front, the large wheels of the cart. On the wings, the smaller wheels, wing wheels. But saying that, also the wing, it's actually preloaded by pressure, the folding cylinders. So it always puts pressure on the wings. So there's homogeneous pressure on the entire bar, and the wing itself can flex like this and can also follow contours. Very important in terraced land and uneven land.
Awesome.
And of course, like you know, all of our machines are foldable to our small European envelope. So pretty small width and pretty small height.
Fold up, drive through the gate, go to the next one.
You go to the next one, you don't leave the cab, you fold down again, you keep going, quick and dirty.
That's what we want. Philip, thank you very much. We're looking forward to testing that thing in South Africa and seeing what it does. So that planter, I'm keeping it English for our international audience. Okay, right, so that's basically an R&D process that they went through, building a planter specifically minimum till for South Africa. Went through the process. Looking forward, they're going to disassemble that thing, assemble it again, and then we'll see it in the dust. This is here from Farmspace. Till next time, cheers.